Hey, Jim, and another question regarding my mortgage with Wells Fargo. They have offered a 3-month forbearance on paying the mortgage. I actually took this option as I felt that putting my mortgage forbearance gave me a little more flexibility in case my boss and the powers that be suddenly cut my salary or cut my wife's salary. We're both docs, but it's been scaring us that some of our doctor's salary have gone down in response to this COVID crisis. Do you think this is a good idea? Are there any unintended consequences that I do not see for putting my mortgage in forbearance? Got a letter that said that it should not affect credit score, but it may affect refinancing, but no other consequences that were mentioned when I took this option with Wells Fargo. I don't know if you had any insight into having this forbearance for 3 months during this COVID crisis. Any recommendations or things I may not be seeing would be great. Thanks.
Okay, so this is interesting, right? Lots of people have been offered these forbearances on their mortgages, right? People have been offered no rent payments or decreased rent. Other people have been told they don't have to pay their mortgages. There's, some of us are getting stimulus money, whether you're self-employed or whether you have an income below 100,000, you got a stimulus check. So there's lots of money floating around these days and lots of benefits out there. But here's the deal to remember with the mortgage forbearance. This is not the same as the student loan forbearance. If you have federal student loans, you are told the interest rates are 0% and the payments are $0 between now and September 30th. So any payments you should have made actually still count toward public service loan forgiveness, but you don't have to make the payment and no interest is accumulating. That is not the case with mortgage forbearance. It is not the same thing. The interest is still accumulating. So that's issue number one, right? So if the interest is accumulating and you stop making payments, obviously your loan balance is going to be going up during that period of 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is that you have mortgage forbearance. They are required to give it to you if you ask for it these days. That was in the CARES Act, but they're not required to waive the interest. So it just gets tacked onto the loan. The other important concept you need to pay attention to is what happens with those payments at the end. They might be stacked onto the end of your loan, and thus you make payments for longer. You just extended your loan by 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or whatever. Or they might all be due in 3 months all at once. So read the fine print and figure out exactly what your lender is offering because it is not standardized. And so you really need to pay attention to that. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.